Hello friends, in today's lecture I will start with the analysis of demand part 2. In this I will discuss the analysis of individual demand. The first topic in this is the utility. Well, what is utility? First of all, we have to understand utility. It is very important concept in order to understand the individual demand or the consumer's behavior, theory of consumer behavior. Because the consumer theory of consumer behavior gives rise to the individual demand, and individual demand basically comes from the utility. Now, what is utility? Well, utility is simply the pleasure or the satisfaction that we derived when we use any commodity or a service. Basically, it means why do we use a commodity or a service? Because we need it. Okay. Why do we need it? We need it because the product has the usability for us. So when we are using a commodity, it definitely is going to give us satisfaction, or it could also be for pleasure or leisure activity. Okay, so the amount of satisfaction or the level of satisfaction that we get from using a commodity is called as the utility, and this is the consumer's perspective of a utility that we will be using throughout this chapter. The commodity perspective of utility says that every product has a utility. For example, a pen, it has a utility. How? Because it helps you in writing something. But if you look at it from consumer's perspective, the pen may not have a utility for the illiterate person because it does not know how to write. So it is useless for that person. So the related point comes out that the concept of utility from consumer's perspective is actually subjective. It means that utility may not be same for everyone and may not be same for a single consumer at all the levels. Now let's move to the related concepts of total utility and marginal utility. Let's say if we are able to give number, if we are able to assign a number or numerically we can tell the level of satisfaction that we derive when we use certain product. If I am suppose eating an ice cream, I am getting some pleasure, of course, and I am feeling happy and I am feeling satisfied with the flavor. But if I am able, that is a subjective thing, but if I can put number to it, that I am getting 10 utils of utility by consuming this ice cream, okay, and then but I'm using some other commodities as well. So the basket of all the commodities and services that I'm using and the utilities that I am deriving from all of this, if it can be added, if it can be given a number that we will discuss in cardinal utility concept, and that can be added, the sum total of all the utility will be simply called total utility. So total utility is something that a consumer derives from all the commodities that the person has consumed. What is the concept of marginal utility? Now, marginal utility simply gives us the additional utility that a consumer derives by using one more or additional unit of a commodity. The concept of marginal principle that I have already discussed in the chapter of tools of analysis, that I told that it will be a recurring concept. From that marginal principle concept, this marginal utility is coming, because marginal simply means everywhere. Whenever we talk about marginal utility, marginal production in the subject of economics, it simply means by additional unit of independent variable. The additional unit of dependent variable that we derive becomes the marginal. Okay, so suppose if I have used one ice cream, then I am eating another ice cream. Now I have consumed two ice cream. So when I have added another unit of ice cream to my consumption, some utility it must have given to me. So the total utility of two ice cream and the utility that I derived when I consumed the first ice cream, so 2 minus 1, okay, and whatever utility, suppose 20 was the total and then 10 was when I consumed the first unit, so 20 minus 10, So the 10 will be the marginal utility that I received from the additional unit of ice cream. So that is the concept of marginal utility, which is quite simple to understand. So this is utility, and these are the concepts of total utility and marginal utility that we will be using further ahead in the chapter. Hope it is clear. Thank you.